on that topic, not to talk about it too much, but I did want to offer you guys some healing energy and say God bless America and we will be okay. So with that said, back to our show. As you guys know, we do this every single Wednesday here at not to talk about it too much, but I did want to offer you guys some healing energy and say God bless America and we will be okay. Rock stars and with that said, back to our show. As you guys know, we do this every single Wednesday here at not to talk about it too much, but I did want to about our healing energy and say God bless America and we will be okay. Rock stars and as you guys know, we do this every single Wednesday here at what do we do about our today, and she's going to be speaking with our guest, Karla Hill, who we are excited to hear from her later on today. Deidre Williams is a real estate developer and economic reporter. But as you guys know, most important, I have to introduce you guys to Miss Ann McNeil. She is our leader. Unmuted. She is the powerhouse behind MCO Construction and the visionary founder of Nabwic itself. Ann's leadership and consistency has paved the way for countless women in the construction industry. So without further ado, good morning, Miss Ann.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Zakia. How are you this morning?
Energy is high, but I'm good.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you something. All things, when that word says all things, it's not just some of them. And so we're calling on all the believers and the non-believers to believe that all things truly do work together for good. But we got to know the rest of the story. And if you know the rest of the story, you know we will always have the glory, especially here at the National Association of Black Women in Construction. And I'm so excited. Oh, that's right, but I'm always excited. I'm excited today because I have just returned from the National Association for all of the Department of Transportation secretaries in the United States. It is called AASHTO. And this is why you must have a dream to have a dream come true. You must have a desire, and it's got to be burning. And my burning desire for attending that conference on behalf of this phenomenal organization and all of our awesome members, partners, and sponsors was because I was determined to get 3 secretaries, DOT secretaries, to agree to be our presenters in January for our $1 billion transportation luncheon virtual. And I was determined to get a woman in spotlight, and I was determined to get 3 sponsors. And guess what, Zakia?
You got it.
All of it. And in addition to that, I also got the president of AASHTO. He is going to bring greetings. So I'm saying all of that as we tee up our special guest today, because I was in the city of brotherly love, which is exactly where Miss Karla Hill is. And I did not get a chance to see her, but we did communicate via text. But I am so very excited to hear her story, because she has also been one of our Think and Grow Rich masterminders and working with us on her journey, I should say, into entrepreneurship. So she's going to share her own story. I won't get into that, but I'm just excited to hear it. And I also am just so very excited to serve. But I want to encourage all of us today and tomorrow and moving forward to remember it is the work we do outside that is reflective of the work we have done inside. And no matter what happens in terms of the elections and politics, always remember that all politics are local. Can I say that again, Zakia?
Mm-hmm.
All politics are local. And so with that thought, yes, ma'am. So with that thought in mind, let's get this party started.
All right. So there we have it. Let's get this party started and do just that. We are going to take a very, very short commercial break. But when we come back, I'm going to introduce you guys to Ms. Karla Hill, and we're going to bring Odidra Williams in the studio, and they're going to chat it up. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
My name is Victor Harris. I am a business development manager for CMTS, family-owned business and construction, and excited to be here as part of the Nabwic team. Nabwic, National Association of Black Women in Construction, awesome group. Not just because of the work that they do helping minority women get their footing in the construction world, but because they open their doors to everybody. Nabwic was the first organization that I got a chance to come and talk to when I moved to South Florida. And they opened so many doors for me to be able to get to my first contract. And it didn't matter that I'm a medium-sized firm in an area that really focuses on small business. They're talking about being able to lift all businesses, all minorities, to be able to get to that next level. And I'm grateful and thankful for being in a room that is about lifting people up and helping people get to their best version of themselves.
All right, and we are back. So in this episode of Nabwic Talks, as I mentioned, we are going to talk with Karla Hill, a seasoned HR executive, career coach, and founder of GPS Career and Business Strategies. With over 35 years of leadership experience, Karla has dedicated her career to empowering individuals and businesses to reach their economic goals through strategic HR tools and career coaching. As a certified Myers-Briggs and Career Direct Assessor, she guides clients in transforming their careers and organizations. Alongside her husband, Karla also co-leads GPS Real Estate Solutions, offering customized real estate solutions to help clients build wealth and access valuable resources. Karla is going to share her journey with us right now. So stay tuned, and good morning, Karla, and good morning, Odidra.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
All right.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Nabwic Talks. We're super excited for our guest today. And it has been mentioned, politics is local, so we would love to learn more about local woman, Karla Hill. So thank you so much for being with us. I'm Odidra Williams, and again, this is Nabwic Talks. We're so excited to have you with us today. So before we start, we want to talk a little bit about you and your relationship with Nabwic. So tell us how you found out about Nabwic and what made you decide to become a member.
Excellent question. So I came across Nabwic last year, was the fourth quarter of last year, when Ann McNeil reached out to me, and I was on my radar, but Ann calling me directly to really talk about the organization and what it did got my attention. And they so happened to be having their annual meeting in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I live right now. I'm from New York City originally. I attended the annual meeting, and what interests me is just the passion and the infrastructure of the organization. And one of the things, being that HR person and a nerd when it comes to career pathways, what interested me most is the exposure that we wanted to have with the next generation, right? In terms, especially girls, female students that may not have even thought of themselves as working in that construction field, and construction itself being so large. So that educational part of it really appealed to me too, and that's where I've landed on the educational committee and the industry day subcommittee.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for all you do for Nabwic and for your leadership. We certainly appreciate having you with us. So tell us a little bit about your company. You have a very extensive background and a lot of expertise in what you do, but tell us a little bit about how you got started and whatever you love for us to know about your business or businesses.
When you talk about my business, one of the quotes that come to my mind is, your passion is your life's purpose seeking outward expression. And what I mean by that, and really what I want for everybody to really understand, is that what we do is an expression of what we are really looking to provide to society. And I've had 35 years of human resources leadership experience. And when I see whether it's the universe or who I call God, does not waste any of my experiences, right? So working in human resources in government for 35 years, there's not an occupation you could think of that does not exist in government. So I've been HR manager, HR director for blue collar, whether it's our fleet management organization with mechanics, the HR director for the Department of Public Health, in terms of nurses, doctors, sanitarians, lawyers, all uniformed staff. And I love being among all of that, those occupations, and seeing people operate in their gifts. And that's really what I do now in terms of helping people to assess who they are, personality, interests, skills, and values, and guiding them, having an alignment of where their next should be. And some people, it's going to be entrepreneurial. Not everybody's made to be an entrepreneur. I think people should have at least both mindsets of where your skills are coming into play and who's going to pay you the most for that. And if you are more entrepreneurial in nature, deciding what that looks like as well. So that's what leveraging my education, my credentials, my certifications, and my work experience, because I think if I didn't have all of that experience being exposed to different types of occupations, different types of people failing and succeeding in different roles, what would I be providing my clients right now? So in terms of my practice, it's focused on individuals and organizations that are looking to assess who they are and fully leverage their gifts and talents into their next, right? So that's what I provide on the UPS Career and Business Strategy side.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So if someone is looking to do just what you said, go to their next level and figure out where they're supposed to be, or how to best navigate their next version of themselves, how would they get in contact with you?
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. So you can go to Karla Hill with a K, Karla, karlahill.net. All of my information is there. And also you can text or call 215-802-0050 as well. That's the easiest way.
Okay. And what about website?
Oh, karlahill.net. Yep, that's my website that feeds into all of my different organizations there. karlahill.net is the website.
Okay, great. And so what is your favorite thing about what you're doing in your life right now?
I recently retired from the government in September. And just like I said with the quote, that this is what I love doing, right? In terms, and that's what I really want for other people. And when I say what I love doing is sitting in front of people, or at least actually allowing them to get access to who they are. Because when I say assessment, it's an in-depth assessment of saying, what is your personality, your interests, skills, and values? And it's like a 30-plus page report that details that, right? More people know more about their telephone, how their telephones work, how their car functions, how their laptop functions, than how they function. And on one side of HR, where I've terminated tons of people, laid people off, they're not bad people, right? They just don't know what their design is. And in terms of when I know is that career technical person, that there's 33,000 different occupations. And most people are just fumbling around, not knowing what they're supposed to be doing. And they're just doing it. Oh, Uncle so-and-so said I need to do this, and not leveraging their genius zone. So what I love is helping people to identify what that genius zone is. Because at the end of the day, so as being a long-time employer representative, the organization wins when you bring your best game to the field. And as a person that is intrinsically just love to help people, when you are flowing in your gifts and talents, you win as well. So that's a win-win solution for me. And when I can find that connection that's what I love most. And that's what I want and desire for other people to have. But I see more often than not just the struggle and people getting by. And I think the enemy is mediocrity, right? It's not, oh, I can do this, and people just talk themselves into doing things as opposed to being intentional about what I do best.
Amazing. Yeah, I agree with all of what you said, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you so much.
So, what is some advice that you could share with people? You know, of course, we're Nabwic, the National Association of Black Women in Construction. But of course, it's the commercial that we heard earlier states we do accept everyone. But what is some advice that you may have specifically for a young Black woman who is trying to find her way? I know you said you have a 30-page assessment. So what are some of the things that you would challenge people to look at? You know, of course, we don't expect you to go over all the 5,000 questions in that 30-page document, but just a couple of things that you could give to advice. Because I know for me, I definitely have gotten fired from multiple jobs, and I feel like I'm a great person. So what are some things that you could share with, some people who are trying to find their way?
The one thing I want to share, and it's customized, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning that we are all unique in how we are designed. So it's really knowing design. And I know that we have architects and engineers that can go down rabbit holes in talking about design. So really finding out what your design is first. I'm going to tell a quick story. So over the past 3 years, I've released 83 pounds. And one of the reasons I say release as opposed to lose is because when you lose something, you go to try to find it, right? And what I realized in maximizing other areas of my life is on that, I've done multiple assessments, whether I'm certified in them or not. I just want to know how Karla works and how Karla can be best optimized. So I've been overweight most of my life and struggled in that area. And one of my top personality traits is that I'm unstructured, right? And so I don't like structure, but I've trained myself to be structured in certain things. And now reflecting on the weight release that I've had over the past 3 years, being involved in a program that gave me that structure where I don't eat flour, I don't eat sugar, I eat around the same time every day, and having the support of people, that's what I needed to succeed in that, right? That's my weakness or my developmental area was what I needed to succeed. A person that doesn't like the structure, I needed the structure to succeed, right? So that's where it really, it's one of the things that we talk about in assessment circles, whether it's Myers-Briggs, Career Direct, DISC, is if you stay within, you'll never go without, right? So, but first you have to know what the problem is, right? So when you say what general advice is knowing, again, who you are and what you want to do and what your strengths are. And in some instances, it's risk mitigation. The fact that I'm unstructured, right? And God in his infinite wisdom has surrounded me with structured people, assistants, administrators, my mom, my dad. But I've trained myself to really value that and work in developing those skills in that area. Not spending all your time, because I really say that we need to leverage our strengths. So the first step is taking a pause. It's almost like in business. We have several business owners, right? That you've heard of the SWOT analysis. I don't know, we are our greatest asset. So doing a SWOT analysis of yourself. What are the strengths? What are your weaknesses? And are you going to identify, once you list them in the inventory, with those weaknesses or those developmental areas, which ones are you going to develop a training plan to increase, right? Or some of them you could just ignore because, I don't really need that. But you need to know what they are and what are the opportunities, right? And the threats in terms of what you're doing. A lot of people, you could be great in something, but if the society or there's not a business opportunity for that, then you might have to pivot, right? So it really begins with taking time to assess who you are, what your strengths are, what are those weaknesses, what are the opportunities that align with your design, and what are the threats that could stop you. And coming up with a plan. All business plans, all our business owners know, oh, business plan. Well, what's your life plan? What's your career optimization plan? It's the same sort of competencies or skills that we need to use for our entity that we created.
I like that. I like what aligns with your design. I love that. You write a book with that title if you haven't already. So let's take a brief commercial break. But before we do that, could you tell us a book that you would recommend or that you have read that's impacted you and that you feel like it impacts us?
I know this is kudos to Anne McNeil for her vision, but Think and Grow Rich. I'm part of that mastermind that meets every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. And I'm going through that book. And, I usually go through that book in addition to another book I'm reading, 12 Months to a Million. But Think and Grow Rich, I think, as the standard to optimize, right? I think that book was written in the 1930s, and I think second to the Bible that it's one of the best sellers. So I think, and it's not just, see, the thing is, I want to become a practitioner. I want excellence for excellence sake for certain things, but I have to pick what that's going to be. And I think Think and Grow Rich has the variables. And not just reading, but to implement. I'm not just reading to read. I'm reading to implement and become a practitioner in what I want to do, right? Whether that's a career strategist practitioner, whether that's a real estate professional practitioner, like it's having the humility to implement and sometimes struggle to get to where you need to get to. So I would think that is a great book that needs to be part of every library, as well as that we implement and become a practitioner at it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So we are talking with Karla Hill, and she is the founder of GPS Career and Business Strategies. And we will be right back talking to her some more after this brief commercial break. We are so excited to have you listening to NABWIC, the National Association of Black Women in Construction Blog Talk Radio Show. Please call, text, or email family, business associates, or friends and tell them that we are on the air right now. Or they can join us on the internet by logging in to www.blogtalkradio.com/NABWIC or by phone at 714-459-3918 and press 1 to join our conversation with questions or comments. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Don't forget to follow us by liking our page and post your questions or comments. NABWIC's intent is to always go into the high schools and colleges to encourage our young Black girls and women to enter into the construction industry and to take interest into the STEM programs that are offered. We encourage you to listen to this show or past shows on the internet by logging in at www.blogtalkradio.com/NABWIC. Thank you, and we're back. Yes, we are. We are back, and we are talking with Karla Hill, who is the founder of GPS Career and Business Strategies, and she has been sharing with us her journey and about just how we're able to get in touch with who we are, tap into our GPS, and figure out which way we're going. And she just told us about her amazing progress that even though she said that she's not typically structured, she had to find the structure that helped her to release some pounds that she was holding on to that wasn't serving her. So congratulations for that, Karla. And I know that I've been talking to you, and this has been a very powerful conversation, especially for me, because I feel like I am, and I know Anne McNeil, I know she agrees 100,000,000%, that I'm one of those persons who is, kind of figuring out what exactly it is that I most excel at. But I also have been monopolizing this conversation. So I know that we have some questions from our co-hosts. So if you have any questions, co-hosts, please come up and you can join us.
Good morning. I'm loving this conversation, Karla and Deidre. So, share with us a strategy, from your expertise that our listeners and ourselves, business owners, everyone who's listening, could you share with us a strategy to help us kind of move forward, since this is your area of expertise, right? And I believe you answered that question. So now my flip side to that is, in your experience when you're helping professionals, what's one of the main or one of the consistent challenges that you see professionals not doing, or what's causing them to not, be productive, or not, or what makes them need your help? What's one of the main things that you consistently see, if you understand the question?
Oh, thank you for the question. I really think it's just the awareness of what their gifts and talents are, right? And I see it especially with high performers, right? Because a lot of time, and not even high performers, professionals, because we can do things, right? But that doesn't mean that's your highest and best, right? It's stepping back. We'll spend hours on social media. Like, if we really did a time test of how we spend our time, it's probably not the most efficient, right? And just like somebody said, oh, all that time on a assessment or figuring out, we spend more time on external things, right, that are not adding value to us. So I'm saying take some of that time for reflection, of assessing, right? Just like in terms of any type of business or organization, there are daily reports, monthly reports, quarterly reports, but we don't have that. We might have that for money to a certain extent, but even for other aspects of our lives, right? Whether that's faith, family, fitness, right, finance, having some metrics in each of those areas, right? And not knowing what motivates people, motivates you. I think it's most important. People will study other things. We know things about sports team. Like, growing up, in New York City, my dad was a big sports fan. It was not healthy how we were in there. I knew every stat and all that other kind. Like, why would you know that?
People know the stats of sports. They know that. It's true.
So I think just rolling it back and spending time and documenting what your personality, interests, skills, values, metrics, what are you looking to achieve? We don't get time back. Anything else, we can earn more money, we can do more things, but time is not replenished. So when it's gone, it's gone. So investing that time in the tools that you need to maximize yourself. So it still comes back to time and making yourself a priority. It's just like when we're on a plane and the flight attendant says, in the case of emergency, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Because for people like me that love to help people, if you're not helping yourself, you can't help other people. So I have to maximize that I can help more people.
Absolutely. So it sounds to me like take action. Like, once initially you said you have to identify it of yourself, like what is the areas that you need to work on. And then it sounds like you're saying after that, the next steps would be to take action. And that was my question. So thank you for sharing. I wanted you to share some of the strategies, you know what I mean, with our listeners. And like I said, with everyone. So thank you for doing that. That was it from you, Deidre.
And just to follow up on that, I think that yes, but it's really difficult to do it by yourself because our minds will play tricks on us. So in terms of that Kenyan proverb, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, go with others. So a tool is unity, and I didn't make it up. It's a Kenyan proverb, right? But I live by that because I see it in terms of reflection, whether it's being a member of the National Association of Black Women in Construction, having like-minded people, right? In my weight release, having like-minded people. It's really connecting. I know Ann McNeil, masterminding, that's one of the principles of Think and Grow Rich also, right? To help you in different aspects of your life to move to that next level and have that accountability. If we stay too much just in our own heads, we think we can really fool ourselves that we're doing okay. Yeah, and even churches, all do the same. It's getting that check, having that community of like-minded people, and you need to be selective about who you're hanging with, but have those goals. But you can't, to me, yes, you can do stuff by yourself, but it's more effective if you are going with others that are like-minded.
There's power in
So that's
numbers.
another-
There's power in numbers.
Yep.
Not to cut you off, but there's power in numbers.
Great. Thank you, Zakia, for that. Do we have any other questions from any of our other co-hosts? Okay, so Karla, thank you again. You have shared so much with us today, and I would like to know, of course, we want people to get in contact with you, and we'll go back over that, but who is your target audience? What is the type of individual or business that you serve? Because we have people who are listening, and we want to
out who they are and invest in them to go to the next step. It's not necessarily so professional organizations also, organizations that want to invest in their members so their members are maximized. So whether it's unions, professional organizations that want to do that. So those are the two areas I would say.
Great. Thank you so much for that. So if you fit that bill and you're interested in figuring out what
You are now in the
you should definitely get in contact with GPS Career and Business Strategies with Karla Hill. And Karla, tell us again how they're
KarlaHill.net is the website. We'll tie to my other websites. And you could also contact me via text or calling at 215-802-0050.
Thank you so much. And do you have any parting words that you'd like to share with us? And before you do that, just thank you so much for all your time today. You have dropped so many gems and given us so much to think about. So what's the final thoughts that you'd like to share with us?
Just, prioritize yourself, because it's that investment in yourself that's the greatest asset that you have, and making sure that you create time to do that. And I love that Kenyan proverb that if you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go with others. So just in terms of that, finding that alignment and that alignment with your design. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, and thank you.
I have a hand
Make sure
raised.
that you go to Karla.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
This is Ann McNeil. I have my hand raised. I'm not sure if you can see it.
No, please go ahead. I don't see it. Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, because I know you're getting ready to close the show. And I just wanted to pop on real quick and ask Karla if she would be so kind to share with our listeners your Nabwic experience as a part of the education committee.
Oh, of course. So again, you know, Nabwic does so many great things, right? So many different committees.
Aniki.
Hello, good morning.
In addition to having the intrinsic knowing who your design is, but even before that, if people see, you can ask a 10-year-old in Lamont, Costa Rica, where my mom's from, a 10-year-old in Miami, a 10-year-old in Philadelphia, what they want to be. They're going to say what they've seen. But when you have career exposure, when they see, when Black girls, brown girls, white girls see women in construction, other Black women in construction, they're like, right? It starts. It just starts there. I would love to do that. I can't picture, can I really do that? So Nabwic has allowed me in a structured way, because we are having an upcoming industry day in Philadelphia where we'll have Amtrak and SEPTA and other organizations in where they can see the stories of other people so they can dream it. If you can't even see it, how are you going to dream it? So being in that supply chain of exposing the next generation to what they're supposed to be, it doesn't matter to me what you're supposed to be. I just want you to be the best. But if you don't even know, if you have no idea, so I want to help other people, and the sooner someone can be able to do that, the better. So, you know, just being exposed to other women going to that next level in different areas, that's what Nabwic has done for me. And thanks for your vision in that, Anne.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, for sure. I do have one last question before we go. What is your favorite personality test?
You know, I don't have I think I don't have a favorite. I have a different tools. I think a variety of tools, right? Whether it's strength finders. Once you start down that path, you'll have others that you add in, because it's just like saying, what is your favorite diagnostic health test, right? Whether it's an MRI, whether it's a PET scan, whether it's blood test, you need as much data as possible in order to figure out how you work. So when people just like, I want to do the fastest one, no, I've done many over the years and at different times, because drama and trauma will change your personality and your interest, right? So I would say it's not one favorite one, but I think it's take one, and then before you know it, you are taking others, but you want to also work with a consultant in that area to properly guide you. Because you can you can take all the different diagnostic tests, but if you don't have a skilled doctor, let's say, in terms of health, or a guide, then you're just going to be all over the place as well, right? I don't have one specific one. I just think knowing that it's important to know who you are and start there.
Okay, I love that. So if you are looking for a diagnosis on yourself, then please check out karlahill.net, and she is able to assist you as you journey and travel to get on the right path for your life and your career. So again, this has been Nabwic Talk. We are so excited to have spoken with another one of our members. And if you're interested in getting in the community that you've been hearing us talk about, and knowing that to go far, you have to go together. You can join Nabwic. Go to nabwic.org, NABWIC.org, and we would love to have you. Please follow us on all of the social medias. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we would love to have you as a member. And in that way, you're able to share your story on Nabwic Talk. We're here every Wednesday at 8:30, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. This is Nabwic Talk, and we will see you next time.
Thank you. This concludes our show. Thank you for listening to Nabwic, the National Association of Black Women in Construction. For more information about Nabwic and our membership, please visit us on the web at www.nabwic.org. We are the voice of Black women in construction. Have a great and prosperous day. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.